Top on the brief this morning, it's day 2 of the 7-day warning strike by members of the National Association of Resident Doctors, NLNG, here in Nigeria. An action, they say, it's intended to draw the attention of security agencies to the need to rescue their colleague who has been kidnapped for 8 months. Dr. Ganiet Popwola, a registrar at the Department of Ophthalmology, National Eye Center, Kaduna, was abducted on December the 27th, 2023, and has since not been released. The Association of Resident Doctors say they will be compelled to withdraw their services indefinitely if Dr. Popwola is not freed at the expiration of the warning strike.
We did not actually make this decision as a very easy decision, as because we know the effect it will have not just on the victims, but also on the Nigerian society. But it's quite painful for you to have a member of your association in captivity, know that he's alive, know that there are people within the country that can get that out. And for 8 months, you've been trying to reach out. If you want to look at it, we've actually followed through a process. And that process has taken us 8 painful months. We've done the media engagement. We've done the protests. There's still no yield. Now we are going on this warning strike. We've did a 7-day warning strike, which we've started. If the government brings our house, we come back to work. We are happy to take care of the Nigerians. We already chose to stay back, and we are happy to do our jobs. But we are hoping that in 7 days they should be able to do it. But if by 7 days we don't get the response, we will have to proceed on an indefinite strike going forward. It's the job of the federal government, primary job of the federal government, to actually protect the lives and properties of these citizens. So they have given us a job. We've done our job. Now we are asking them to do their job. But if they are not going to do their job, then maybe we will hold our services till the government is ready to ensure the release of our member.
Well, staying with security, the police in Sokoto State is denying knowledge of a reported abduction of over 150 in Sabumbirni area, a few days after the gruesome murder of Zakin Gubir Gatawa Issa Muhammad Bawa. Professor Bello Bada of Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto, in an earlier interview with RFI Hausa, had said the kidnapping happened after the late emir was killed. But the spokesman of the Sokoto State Police Command, Assistant Superintendent of Police Ahmed Rufai, in a telephone chat with our correspondent, said the police is not aware of this. However, admitted that the Sabumbirni axis and other parts of Sokoto East Senatorial District have been faced with serious security threat, with many residents under threat of attack, and some find it difficult to report cases to security agencies. Well, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Gbetogun, has ordered operatives of the force to track down and arrest the sponsors and killers of policemen involved in a recent procession by the Islamic movement in Nigeria, commonly known as the Shiite. According to a statement by the force spokesperson, Muyiwa Adejobi, the IG condemned the killing of police officers while on duty, stating that those who murdered the policemen have murdered peace. The statement adds that in line with the directive of the Inspector General of Police, the progressive efforts of police operatives have led to the arrest of 97 suspects and the recovery of several weapons said to have been used in the attack. Well, in the security sector, there's been new appointments, as President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of new Directors General of the National Intelligence Agency, NIA, and the Department of State Services, the DSS, while Ambassador Mohammed is a new Director General of the NIA. Mr. Adiola Oluwatosin Ajayi is now the new Director General of the DSS. The new appointment followed the resignation of the previous NIA and DSS chiefs. According to presidential spokesman Ajirin Gilali, President Tinubu expects the new security chiefs to work diligently to reposition the two intelligence agencies for better results. In the Niger State now, where the state government has conditionally suspended the ban on mining activities in this state, a year after the governor, Umar Bago, placed a ban on mining activities. This latest move paves the way for regulated mining operations to resume. Acting Governor Yakubu Garba announced the suspension at the Government House in Mina, the state capital, outlining the conditions for mining companies to operate in the state.
The mining industry is crucial for our economic growth, but illegal mining activities harm our future generation. That's why government suspended mining activities in United States some months ago. But despite government efforts, the compliance has been very low, as we are all aware. So we are taking decisive action by lifting the suspension conditionally. We are confident that the task force that will be integrated today will enforce regulations and ensure responsible mining practice across the states. To you, the selected members of this very committee, we entrust you with a significant responsibility to protect our environment, ensure fair and just practices, and secure Niger State future. We will support you fully and act against those acting outside the law. Let's work together to build a sustainable mining sector that benefits everyone.
On the way to the south-south region of the country, where protests by residents of Amadiama community in Port Harcourt, River State capital, has obstructed business activities at the NLNG headquarters. Well, they are protesting the death of one of their precious Imabibo due to what they say is alleged recklessness by an NLNG boat, which they claim caused a surge of water with Lake Precious was fishing on January the 20th, leading to his drowning.
I went to be fishing. That was Saturday evening. Around at 6:30, so the NLNG when I come from Bonnet, they seek the boy boat. Up till now, they didn't give us anything that said, you don't need any more for yourself. So I say, apologize, I say, sorry, madam, and sorry, sir. Till today, we didn't see anything from them. So we went to Amadi police station to report the case. Then they invite us, we went there, but don't head and tail. Went to them, let them invite us to go and area command. No way. Went to Marine Police again. We thought Marine Police would arrest this boat, the NLNG boat, Covenant 2. Either Covenant 2 or Covenant 1. Up there to tell that they are not arrest that boat.
In responding to these allegations in a statement, the General Manager, External Relations and Sustainable Development, Andy O'Day, says the NLNG is aware of a recurrence of a protest at its corporate head office in Port Harcourt by a groom, it says, is claiming to represent the family involved in an incident allegedly involving an NLNG chartered passenger boat along the Amadi Creek in January. O'Day noted that relevant stakeholders are being engaged towards an amicable resolution. Well, let's talk local governance now, as the governor of Edo State says the implementation of a local government financial autonomy as granted by the Supreme Court should commence in the state by October the 1st and talk about independence. Mr. Obaseki gave the timeline after inaugurating an implementation committee to work out the modalities for a smooth transition inside the executive chambers of the government house in Benin City, the state capital. He charged the committee to review the joint financial commitments involving the state and local government council. These include payments to traditional institutions, pensions, and local security network.
The traditional council staff are under the pay of the local governments. We have to agree on now that there's autonomy in which local government is involved, how that is now going to be dealt with monthly. But one concern that we would like to, well, not a concern, one of the areas we would like to also, we would like the committee to look at very closely and work out a seamless arrangement will be the monthly pension payments and savings to pay the arrears of pension obligations to retired workers from the local government service. As you're aware, for security, we have been jointly financing the training of vigilantes from the various local governments. How would this be carried on going forward? And then, lastly, we recall that we had started this program of jointly financing the rollout of fiber optic connections to your local governments, and this last we have a phase currently on where we are connecting primary healthcare centers in some of the local governments to this fiber network, and therefore this is an area we need to look at how to now jointly finance.
Staying with governance and the law, former president of Ghana, John Mahama, says there's a need for the establishment of a Pan-African legal framework that will reflect the continent's values and realities, as well as help solve the challenges facing the continent. The former president said this at the Nigeria Bar Association Annual General Conference here in Lagos. In his words, the recent wave of political insurrections and coups in Africa, particularly in the Sahel region, reflects deep-seated issues of injustice, alienation, and marginalization. The state fragility and insecurity that have led to military takeovers have not only disrupted mutual understanding within the Southwest sub-region, but also exposed the limitation of current diplomatic and interventionist strategies, he says. And on to business news. The National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, has said Nigeria's gross domestic product, GDP, for the second quarter of 2024 grew by 3.19%. In its Q2 2024 GDP report on Monday, the Bureau said Nigeria's GDP rose year-on-year in real terms in the second quarter. The NBS stated that this growth rate is higher than the 2.51% recorded in the second quarter of 2023 and higher than the first quarter of 2024 growth of 2.98%. The NBS said the performance of the GDP in the second quarter of 2024 was driven mainly by the services sector, which recorded a growth of 3.79% and contributed 58.76% to aggregate GDP. And out of the country, Kiev says Russia attacked Ukraine with more than 200 missiles and drones on Monday, killing 7 people and striking energy facilities nationwide, while neighboring NATO member Poland reported a drone had probably entered its airspace. Power infrastructure was hit, causing widespread blackouts as the entire country was put under air raid alert and told to take shelter. Russia confirmed it had launched attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure, one of its long-term tactics, and said all its targets were hit. According to Mykola Oleshuk, who is the commander of Ukraine's Air Force, Russia launched 127 missiles and 109 attack drones. Out of them, Ukraine shot down 102 missiles and 99 drones, he said on Telegram. And out to the big story in sports, the Nigeria Football Federation, NFF, has reached an agreement with German tactician Bruno Labbadia to become the head coach of Nigeria's senior men national team, Super Eagles. In a statement released in the early hours of today, the NFF General Secretary, Dr. Mohamed Sanusi, said the approval was given by the NFF Executive Committee following a recommendation of its Technical and Development Subcommittee. Well, the 58-year-old in his playing days capped for several clubs, including Bayern Munich, FC Cologne, Werder Bremen, Arminia Bielefeld, and Karlsruhe SC. He won the German Bundesliga with Bayern Munich as a player in 1994. He then went on to coach Wolfsburg, Leverkusen, Hertha Berlin, and VfB Stuttgart. He becomes the 6th German to coach the Eagles. The statement adds that Labadia's immediate challenge is to take charge of 3-time African champions for 2 2025 AFCON qualifying matches against Benin Republic on September the 7th in New York and Rwanda on September the 10th in Kigali. Then we have 4 other matches to conclude the qualifying race following in the months of October and November. And there you have it, Labbadia, the latest Super Eagles head coach. But on the flip side, however, tributes continue to pour in for Sven-Göran Eriksson, best remembered as England's first foreign manager and the man who presided over the country's so-called golden generation during his time in charge. Paying tribute, FIFA President Gianni Infantino said the Swede that he was deeply saddened to learn of Sven-Göran Eriksson's passing, a man he described as a global influence. His career also included coaching national teams from 4 different continents, with time spent in charge of England, Mexico, Cote d'Ivoire, and the Philippines. David Beckham paid tribute to true gentleman Sven-Göran Eriksson and said he will be forever grateful, while striker Wayne Rooney, who made his England debut under Eriksson as a 17-year-old, described him as a special man. Eriksson had revealed in January that he had been diagnosed with cancer and given at least a year to live, or at best a year to live. Well, such a great tactician, definitely, and the football world will miss him.